How's everybody doing today? My name is Steven Rosenberg and this is Gene Ginsberg. Welcome to Marketing Success in Under 10 Minutes. Today is part 2 of our series on influencer marketing. We had a great conversation last time and talked about some of the different things, and this time we're going to be talking about the different steps on how do you actually get there. How are you doing, Gene?
I'm doing really well, thank you, Steven. Yeah, I'm really excited because we recorded another video about influencer marketing, and we just talked about generically what influencer marketing is, what are some of the outlets that you can use for influencer marketing, but I think today we're going to talk about specifically how to execute. So you're a small business, what are the next steps that you need to take in order to attract some influencers in your vertical?
100%. So do you have an opinion?
Sure, I can talk about the things that I have used in the past. It's actually pretty straightforward. It's not rocket science, it's not anything. You don't need to use any fancy platforms, really. Also, there are some fancy platforms out there, but if you are just doing this and you're kind of getting started, I would really just recommend first doing some research. So look at the competition. If you're looking for influencers who are in your space, look at competition, look at complementary individuals who are in your space. So first, do some research. Go on Google, go on Instagram, do some searches. If you're, let's say, one of the examples I talked about in the previous video was like I have a client who is a skincare client, and they do aesthetic skincare like wrinkles, but also they do like medical skincare. So, for example, they have a product that treats like dry skin. So one of the things that we did in terms of finding influencers, in terms of actually promoting out these products, is like find influencers. And so we use like YouTube and Facebook and other social media outlets to find the actual influencers who have a following, I'd say, on YouTube. So in terms of just getting started, like I said, research first, and then once you have researched, reach out to these individuals, send them an email, say, I own business XYZ, we're in the same vertical, and offer them like something, let's say like a free PDF or something that talks about your business, I would say, or some sort of free, I guess, a premium product, so that way they can have an understanding of what it is that you're offering them. And then also, next step would be to give them like a sample of your product. So let's say if you're doing skincare, you can send them like a skincare little trial size just so that they can actually see what that product looks like and use it and write a review about it, or do, let's say, a video review about it on YouTube. So those would be the simple steps that I think that I've taken in the past, and I would recommend taking if you are looking for influencers. What are your thoughts, Steven?
Yeah, so I mean, just using that same example, we'll say skincare company on Instagram though, and what I would do is first hashtag search all the different skincare companies out there. Who are the biggest influencers? Are there any sub-influencers, like individual people? So whether a Kardashian, I know I keep saying Kardashian, it's a figure of speech. It's not like I don't care at all about that. But basically focusing on that, and then focusing on the smaller people that don't have. And when you search for a hashtag on Instagram, it shows you immediately, it like categorizes it and shows you how many people have used this hashtag, and it goes by most influential all the way down. And so then I would find those people and I would message them and I would say, hey, I've got a skincare company, I really liked your video or your page or your this or your that around makeup. You seem to know what you're talking about. Would you be willing to try our product? Send them your product. And you're doing this all through direct message through Instagram. And the reason I think this is so valuable to our audience out there is because everybody gets 10 million emails a day, right? That's becoming a thing where it's really stressful to manage an email inbox for some people. And so when you message somebody on Instagram, people are not using Instagram functionality for messaging a lot yet. But it's a thing, it's there. And so you have a much higher chance of getting one-on-one with somebody through Instagram than you do by sending them a cold email.
Yep, very
so
true.
It's just a different approach. Or not like instead of sending an email, send the email. Like you said, I think your component is very important to the overall process of getting these people in your circle. But maybe follow up with or if you don't hear right back from them, or in addition to, send them an Instagram message saying something similar, but just don't copy and paste them, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. The one thing that I think a lot of times we miss is that, like, it's just like we're trying to do this so quickly that we miss the connection with people. And I think that's extremely important. That we don't want to just copy and paste. We don't want to just like say the same message, because people are put off by that. And I think we all would be. If you get that same message in your inbox and through Instagram, you would probably be put off by that. Not probably, most definitely.
Exactly.
Just follow up with, write a different message and say, hey, you know, I sent you an email. I wanted to check in if you received it, and we would love to work with you. Really make a connection. I think a lot of times we forget that, you know, we're trying to do this in such mass scale, not just like this influencer marketing, but in general, like everything now is done on like such mass scale that we forget to make a connection with others.
Well, and I think that's why the influencer marketing approach that I'm talking about, finding smaller people, not the big people.
But I'm saying, like, even reaching out is mass scale a lot of times where
Oh yeah, it's hard, you know, but that's why I think people are very drawn to influencers on Instagram, because they don't feel like they're pitching them something. They're just like, you know, this woman is doing this cooking show, and she's just cooking like for her family. She's not sponsored by Whole Foods. She's just like cooking, but you know, it's obvious she shops for Whole Food every time, because when she's explaining how to cook XYZ, a lot of her products, you notice, are that. And so then people are very drawn to that.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because they're not being pitched by Whole Foods to buy Whole Foods. It's just like, buy this woman that they're watching because they like her cooking show and she does a really good job. Yeah. So I think businesses are finding a huge value in that for people, and I think for our audience out there, you have to really, like what Gene said, build a connection, a real one. This is not like a real scalable thing to do overnight. I think you really do have to be genuine.
Yeah, it's extremely important to be genuine and to actually reach out to someone and, you know, speak to them on a personal level, not just like. And just one thing to also keep in mind is that I'm sure we all know that these influencers get a ton of requests and a ton of emails and a ton of requests from, you know, through Instagram, through whatever their social media outlet is. So really be like being genuine, being specific, being like having something to offer up front is, I think, extremely important, because I'm sure they get like thousands of these requests a day, and you know, they have to sift through it. So really make a connection, really offer, like, add some value in the beginning. You know, show them why this product or your product that you're offering might be important, why people should, you know, listen to you, and why they should follow this particular product or purchase it or whatnot. So, but really explain it well and stand out, because again, a lot of people, I'm sure, are messaging these influencers to do the exact same thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not being sincere and you don't have any value to bring to the table, there's nothing anybody can do that can help you. Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Any other last thoughts on influencer marketing and how to execute on that?
No, I think that our audience should really take an opportunity and direct message one person on Instagram or 3 people on Instagram, you know, that has a small following, a medium following, and like a super large following within their own niche or their business, and see what happens. You know, be sincere about the message, but like, I bet you get a response from 2 out of the 3 people.
Yeah, and the one thing also keep in mind, I know that it can be a little disconcerting at first, and you might not get responses. Like, you might get some responses, but I'm sure nobody's gonna get 100% of the responses. So don't get discouraged by the fact that people may not respond. You know, that's the nature of the game. People get busy, people get a lot of emails, so don't get discouraged and just stop the whole process. Continue on doing the process, and you'll find the people that you can, you know, that you make a connection with.
Yeah, just like you, Gene.
Awesome.
All right. I hope everybody has a wonderful time, and we'll see you next time.
Great.
Thanks so much for watching. We hope you'll continue to get involved and join us as we help you find success in your entrepreneurial journey. Please follow, like, and share with others who will find this beneficial. We'll see you on the next episode of Marketing Success in Under 10 Minutes with Stephen and Gene.